Buongiorno e buona Festa della Repubblica! On June 2nd, Italians celebrate Festa della Repubblica, which is the equivalent of Italian National Day. But what is it? How does it differ from other Italian celebratory days? Did an Italian just celebrate that on April 25th? To explain Italian celebratory days and anniversaries, we'll need to know a bit of history. I promise I'll be quick. As you might know, Benito Mussolini and his fascist party came to power in 1922, and in 1940, Italy declared war on France, thus entering World War II on Germany's side. That created an immediate backlash in the free world. And in some countries, such as Canada and the USA, Italians that did not renounce their Italian passport were deemed enemy aliens, and approximately 31,000 Italians were interned in Canada, and immigration from Italy was halted. Starting from September 8, 1943, the Allied forces and the resistance started their fight to free mainland Italy of the Nazi occupation, overthrow Mussolini's fascist regime, and put an end to World War II. The Allied forces invaded Sicily in July 1943, and in 2 years they advanced north, fighting the Nazi and the fascist armies with the help of the Partigiani, organized and armed resistance groups. On April 25, 1945, the city of Milan was officially liberated from the Nazi occupation, and on that day, the resistance assumed civil and military powers over the entire peninsula of Italy, inviting all Partigiani on occupied territories to rise. On May 3, 1945, after Italy was completely liberated from the Nazi occupation, World War II and more than 20 years of fascist regime were finally over for Italy. The resistance forces came together to create a temporary government with the goal of jump-starting a country defeated and in ruins. As part of this restructuring, an institutional referendum was held on June 2, 1946, when Italian people were called to decide if their head of state should come from a family dynasty or if it should be elected by popular vote. On June 2nd and 3rd, 1946, 12 million men, and for the first time in Italian history, 13 million women voted, and the results ratified the end of the monarchy and the birth of the Italian Republic. That is the story behind Italy's Liberation Day, April 25th, and Italy's Republic Day, June 2nd. And that also explains why Italy, as it is now, is a relatively young republic at only 74 years old. So why the significance of celebrating Festa della Repubblica here in Canada? First, the liberation of Italy from the fascist regime and the end of the war allowed interned Italian Canadians to be able to return to their homes in Canada. Secondly, and most significantly, after the end of the war and becoming a republic, the relations between Canada and Italy turned friendly, and the immigration bans of Italians were lifted. Canada opening immigration and recruiting Italians to come to Canada sparked a massive wave of Italian immigration, the biggest in Italian history. Many families were reunited after being apart for years, and many young, enterprising, and courageous Italians sought their fortunes in a young country that offered opportunity to anyone willing to put in the hard work necessary. Today, Festa della Repubblica is celebrated by many Italians and people with Italian descent. Whether elderly, middle-aged, teenagers, or young children, the birth of the Italian Republic defines Italian heritage and marks the path to becoming an Italian Canadian. In conclusion, I wish you all a happy Italian National Day. Buona Festa della Repubblica!